This video is sponsored by Deep Cut Studios. For a wide range of fantastic gaming resources such as battle mats, dice trays and pre-painted bases, check out the description below. Hi guys, welcome back to TNG Productions. My name is Tom. We're back with a new Walking Dead All-Out War Community Challenge. And if you've not seen these before, these are homebrew challenges that I have set for you to play either in single player or co-op with a friend or family member, and to see if you can beat a score that I'm about to set in this video. Now I've got all the details in a PDF which you can find in the description below, along with a plain text version for those of you who have accessibility arrangements. And hopefully what I'm going to do right now is talk you through a gameplay version of it, set a par score for you guys to beat, and then hopefully you guys will get some feedback either on the Facebook post or on this YouTube video and let me know how you did trying it out on home. So big thank you for all the positives from the first one. Hopefully this one will be something a little bit different. It's a little bit more of a mad rush, and I'll take you to the table and I'll show you now. Okay then, and here we are all set up for today's community challenge, which is called Sonny and Bean, and if you get that reference, bonus points to you. So essentially we have got a crew of survivors which is made up of 200 points worth. So you can see I have gone with the saviors. So I'll quickly run through what I've given them and then I'll explain the scenario. So we have Negan. This is like the Here's Negan one, the bagged mother effer one. He's got Lucille, of course, and the leather jacket. I've tried to go as WYSIWYG as I can. We have the wonderful Dwight on the right-hand side. He's got his crossbow and a hunting knife. And then we've got Tara at the back. She's also got a hunting knife. So super WYSIWYG. You've got 200 points that you can spend on a crew. You've got up to 3 to 4 survivors. And essentially you probably want at least 3. So I've kind of capped it there. Now, the main aim of this objective, you can see we have 2 lovely walkers in the middle that are prone here. They're called Sonny and Bean. And essentially, they could be the cure to this virus. They could be very important for research. But I don't know, they're important, let's put it that way. And your survivor group has been conducting some tests on them. And now they need to get away because all the screaming of these walkers, screaming, has kind of drawn attention of a horde who are now coming. But you realise that the car near to you needs some fuel. You've run out, so you need to go and scramble for it. So, simple rules. You have 2 walkers here in the middle. They are placed on the center of the board. They basically count as prone survivors, so other walkers can attack them because they're your research specimens. You deploy within an inch of them. There are 4 supply tokens that are in the walker zone, which is basically 6 inches away from the center. And then we've got 10 walkers just roaming around, and then 1 in base contact with each of the supply tokens. So we're up to 14, which is a pretty hefty amount for 200 points, but it's all good. And then finally we have an escape car, which for us is going to be this red one here. Now, same as last time, we're going to have just the event cards and supplies that have got the walker symbol and a few extra ones shuffled in just to make it a bit more fun. Few changes that I've made for this one. The threat tracker is going to start on level 4, meaning that we are starting in low threat and it cannot ever be reduced. So no holding your nerve in this one. The last scenario was all about being quiet and getting to someone quickly. This is about basically just scrambling to get away from this imminent danger. Once again, if you create noise, it does add +1 to the threat tracker, so that's something to be aware of. And then realistically, there's only 2 special rules to be aware of. So Sonny and Bean in the middle here. They are basically treated, as I said, as survivors. They are prone survivors. They can't move, they can't take actions, they only have a red dice on their defense. So realistically, it's good for you to have someone to protect them. However, you can't get too close because they're still walkers at the end of the day. So if anyone in your survivor group ends a turn within the kill zone of Sonny and Bean, they'll take a little chomp at them and you'll take a point of damage and you will be bitten. So you can't stay too close. So it's this kind of management of how much you protect them. On top of that, to simulate getting the fuel, you see we've got 4 supply tokens with the yellow markers. I've put 1 behind this house just to kind of level things a little bit. Essentially, after you have searched the first supply token, because no one's ever that lucky to get it first time round, every other supply token you search, you then roll a red dice. And for each time you fail, you roll an extra red. If you get a headshot, if you get an exclamation mark, you have found fuel. Congratulations. Finding it does make noise because you are literally rummaging around on the floor near walkers. But your survivor then has a fuel canister, and then what they need to do is they need to take it back to the car and then take an action when they're in base contact with the car, and then basically the game will end on that turn at the end of that turn. There are points allocated for survivors being near the car at the end. There are points allocated for Sonny and Bean, as the same as last time. It is basically the lower score, the better. It's kind of like golf, so there is a par score that's available. Now, if you happen to go through all of these supply tokens and you don't find it, then the last one you automatically find it, as well as any supplies that you pick up. And as normal, it will make noise. But ideally, you want to be picking it up
as quickly as you possibly can. So there's no way you can get it on the first. You're absolutely guaranteed to get it on the fourth. And then, like I said, you've got to try and scramble back towards the car with everybody intact. Now, Sonny and Beam don't move. They don't do anything. It's just your survivors from your group that need to get back towards the car. And if they are within the kill zone of it, at the end of the turn, when your one survivor who's in base contact takes an action to escape, then they get away scot-free. So I think that's pretty much everything ready to go. Now, as with the last one, it is important for you to keep track of your turns. Obviously, I'll have a turn marker in the corner, but it's just something you might want to use a D20 or a D10, depending on what you're looking for. But you want to do this quickly and as fast as you possibly can, because that threat tracker, like I said, can't be reduced, and you'll find people will be panicking really quickly. So let's go on to it. Let's go to turn one.
Okay, then we're at model's eye view. So survivor's going to go first. So I don't want to be too close to Sonny and Bean. I want to be going towards these supply tokens. We're going to start with Tara. She's just going to make a sneak action to here. I don't particularly want to be making noise. I'm just going to try and stay outside of the kill zone of this walker. Her second action is probably just going to be wasted, because by there she'll be able to sneak into that token next. Negan, pretty straightforward. I think he's in range. Yeah, he is just going to simply walk to here to engage that walker, but then he'll be in base contact with the car, so we can search this supply token. Dwight's going to do something a bit more interesting. Dwight has got his crossbow, which is a silent weapon. So he's going to take a shot, I think, at this walker that's just reaching over, so we can try and clear some space. So Dwight has got a white dice on his shooting. He has 2 red dice thanks to his crossbow. Let's see what he does. He gets, cocked dice, but I'm going to claim it. That's 2 with a headshot. And the walker, in retaliation, gets a blank. So Dwight does headshot him straight away, which is pretty nice. And luckily, that doesn't make noise. However, I do need to check for ammo, and let's hope we don't run out straight away. I mean, luckily, the crossbow is reliable, so let's see how we do. That's another cocked dice, but I'll take it as a success. So Dwight's done that for his first action. I think for his second action, he is simply just going to mosey and sneak up to here. So we're in a decent position already as we're looking to go into the event phase. So like I said, we're on low threat already, so we're going to check for kill zones. I don't think there's anything I need to worry about here. I think everybody, it should be out of where you'd expect them to be. Do need to take a risk here though, because Sonny and Bean are on their own. So let's see what the event card is. We draw Drawn to Chaos, so +1 to the threat immediately. That takes us up to level 5. And on All Quiet on Low Threat, red dice walkers enter play from each table edge. So let's roll a red die. 2. So I'll sort that out and we'll cut back in a sec. And the board is already a lot busier thanks to that roll. So because I'm using a deep cut mat, I basically put the walkers 2 inches in. If you're using a normal mat, obviously you can just put them on the board edge. So that's the event phase done. So we now need to go to melee. Now there is combat because of Negan, so we're going to go to threat level 6. And it is just this walker versus Negan. Now, hopefully he can bludgeon living daylights out of it with Lucille, which is a red dice +2 white on his melee. Let's see how it does. Oh, Negan only gets a 2. What does the walker get? Nothing. All right, that's lucky. I'll take that. So Negan will push this walker an inch away and he will knock it prone. There is nothing else we need to check for. And luckily that kind of means that he is in an A+ position to claim this token. So we'll go to the end phase and see if that walker stands up. So end phase of turn 1, and we've already got a busier board than when we started. Let's see if this walker gets up. He does stand back up, so he is ready and raring to go for round 2 against Negan. There's nothing else for us to check for at the moment. No one's managed to find the fuels, so we're in no rush. So because it's single player, we'll add 1 to the threat, which takes us to 7, and we'll go to turn 2. Over to turn 2 then, and we need to start seeing if we can rummage for this fuel. So Tara's going to go first, I think. She's just going to make a sneak action to walk into base contact with this supply token. Now, she can't search it yet because there is a walker nearby, but it means hopefully if she can clear him out, then she can get it next turn. Over to Dwight, his is going to be really straightforward. I think there's no point in shooting. I might as well just walk over here and grab this supply token. Now, because it's the first one that we've grabbed, we don't roll to see if it's fuel, we just pick up a supply. And we've got, football pads. I will take that. That'll make him a little bit more tanky. And that leaves us with Negan. Now, Negan is also going to take a search action, so he gets a supply as well. What does he get? He gets a hockey stick, as if he'd ever need it. But he now gets to see if he has located fuel. So because this is the first supply that I'm searching after the first one I've got, I roll a red dice. If I get a headshot, it is the fuel. If not, it's just normal supply. Let's see what we get. Hey, Negan has got the supply. I will take that. He's got the fuel, so he's our main man carrying the fuel. I'm happy.
But as we said, he does make noise when he finds fuel because he's rummaged around in that car. So that will gain the attention of this walker here, and it will also increase the threat per the rules. So Negan is now my MVP that I need to get back towards this car as we go in. So we can check for kill zones now, but I think pretty much everybody is within range. Let's see if Tara has got the attention of this walker here. I think she's just out. She's just safe, which is good news. So we'll draw an event card, and we have got the Hunger. So immediately +1 to the threat. So that takes us to level 8. So we're in medium. And it says each player rolls a blue dice and moves that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor. So blue dice, 1. I get to move 1 more walker towards an eligible survivor. I think who's going to be a bit of a pain here, who needs to be cleared out of the way. I don't quite like this guy on the train tracks here, so I'm just going to move him into Dwight. That seems sensible. And if Dwight can bump him off, then that clears the path a little bit. So that's the event card all taken care of. I'm really worried that we're going to go to high threat really quickly, though, because then everyone's going to be panicking. So we'll go to melee. So again, it'll add +1 to the threat. So we're on 10 now, which means we are really going to have to get back to that car quite quickly, Negan. And we'll start off with Dwight. So Dwight is going to use his hunting knife, which is quite nice. So he gets 2 red dice versus a walker. Let's see how he does. Oh, he gets 1 so far. The walker gets 2 with a bite. Oh dear, Dwight, that's not good. So he's going to take some damage. And he is going to be pushed back. And we will give him a bite token. He did not appreciate that. Anyway, big boy Negan, he'll have no problems. Come on, Negan. Red dice, no, sorry, 2 white dice and a blue. Kill it this time. Oh, he absolutely murders it. The walker cannot beat that, but he'll try. So that's that walker eliminated. Now, Tara's interesting because of the saviors. Tara actually gets to roll an additional red dice on a melee, thanks to clear the way against walkers. So she has got a white dice base, and then she's got 2 red dice, 1 for her hunting knife, 1 for clear the way. And actually, if she kills Walker, she impresses Negan, so she gets to stock up on a new dice. So let's see how she does. She rolls nothing, and the Walker rolls nothing. So because the Walker's rolled nothing, Tara has got the ability to re-roll sharp weapons. She's got stab. So I'm going to re-roll all 3 of these, and we'll see if she can get a kill. She doesn't get the kill, but she does get the successful go away. This is my supply token. And the knockdown, which I will take with that. It's not the most successful round of attacks with these saviors. They are a little bit disappointing, but it's not too bad. So we'll go to the end phase and we'll see how Dwight's feeling. So I have just realised actually that with those football pads, Dwight wouldn't have taken damage. So that's quite lucky though. He's still on full health, but he is still bitten. So let's see if he takes the damage from his bite. He gets a shield. He tanks it so far. So he's okay. He's just, feeling the infection just start to creep into him. Let's see if this walker at the back stands up. He does not. He stays down. So that's not too bad at all. So my priority now is to try and get Negan back towards this car, which I think he's going to have to run, which in turn is going to increase the threat, which is not great. Speaking of which, end of the turn, we've increased the threat by 1 to 1 to 11 now as we head into turn 3, as we have got to just scramble to make our escape. Okay, so we need to get Negan back. Let's start thinking this through. Let's go with Tara to start with. Tara's going to search the supply token because there's absolutely no harm in doing that. So she is going to draw a supply and she gets a 2x4. Not too bad. Not her sharp usual type of melee weapon, but she will take it as I just remove this out of the way. And then I think Tara just really needs to get out of trouble and stay away from the walkers. So she is just going to make a sneak action and she's going to go into base contact with this car and she's just going to turn and shout to the boss and be like, can we go now? Can we go? Can we run away? Can we run? Dwight, on the other hand, what are you going to do, Dwight? Dwight, I think, needs to start playing interference. So he is also going to take a sneak action. He's going to sneak himself just to there. Take his bite token with him. And he's going to pop a shot at this walker that has been chasing him down using his crossbow. So he's got white dice and 2 red on his shooting with his crossbow. Let's see how he does. He gets all of the points. Let's see if the walker can do anything. It can't. No. So he eliminates it. He's pretty good, Dwight, with this crossbow. I'm kind of enjoying him. But he has got to take an ammo roll because he's got a headshot. So it is reliable. Let's see how he does. He's all right. He's all good. Right. Negan then. Negan has actually got the fuel. Now, Dwight, you'll notice I've actually left in the kill zone of one of Sonny and Bean here, but he'll take a point of damage, but he's already bitten, so I thought, what is there to lose? But I don't really fancy Negan ending the turn bitten as well. simply because you lose points in my scoring system that I cleverly, ingeniously designed and now have filmed some suffering. So I'm going to take a sprint action, but I'm going to measure this in 2 parts to make sure I end up in the right place. I'm going to 4 inches to there, and then I want to end up just outside of 2 of one of our research specimens here. So yeah, let's run to there with Negan, which I think is okay. However, it does create noise, which is really problematic. So it will increase the threat, so we go up to level 12. And of course, it will draw the interest of the nearest walker, which I believe is probably this one here. So she's going to walk, and she will probably just about clatter into the train. I'm going to claim it anyway, but she's going to come and get him if the event card doesn't like me. So that's his first action. Now, what's his second action going to be, Negan? I might use my second action to hand the fuel to Dwight. Is that sensible? Should I do that? Is that crazy? I'm going to do it. So Negan is going to just turn to his buddy and be like, you take it now, bitten boy. And he's going to hand the fuel over to Dwight. At least that means if Negan gets into a lot of trouble, Dwight can kind of go and escape in the car with Tara. I don't think they'd ever do that to Negan, but let's see what happens. So we have to check 4 kill zones to start with then. After all those actions, I think Tara is pretty safe. These 2 are pretty safe. So let's see what the event card has in store for us. We flip. Won't stay down. So it's medium threat. So we have to follow what all quiet and low threat says. So for each prone walker, roll a black dice on a shield, it gets up. If there are no prone walkers, add 1 to the threat level. There is one. There's the one that we had at the back of the board. So let's see if he stands up. He does stand up. He's seen Tara like beating on the door, trying to get the engine going. He's like, I could kill this one. And then we have to follow medium threat. Roll a blue dice and move that many eligible walkers in a direction of your choice. So towards the nearest survivor, basically. 2. Who are we going to go with? Do you know what? Come on then, Lady Walker. You can get stuck into Negan. You go have a fight there. I think Negan can tank you. And do you know what? Tara's feeling tough as well. Let's just try and clear some of this. So this one's going to walk into Tara. She's going to turn and stab him in the face, basically. So there is combat, so on +1 to the threat. That means we're on level 13, which means next turn there's going to be some panicking, and that could absolutely ruin this, but we'll see how we get on. So let's go to combat. Negan's going to start. He's going to set the pace. He's going to absolutely bludgeon living daylights out of this walker with Lucille. He does bludgeon her to death. She gets nothing in return, so he just executes that walker. No harm, no foul. Tara is going to go with her hunting knife, so that's a white and 2 red. She kills it. I could re-roll a dice here, but there's no way the walker can beat it. And she impresses Negan, so she's going to add a red die to her card, which she can use at a later point. That's not too bad at all. So we go to the end phase, and I think Dwight is going to feel a slight nibble on his ankle from one of those captured walkers. Right at the end of the third turn, things are getting very tense now with Dwight holding on to this fuel, trying to get it towards the car. Now, Dwight has taken a point of damage because I'll say Sonny has given him a little nibble on the ankle. He got a little bit too close, but he's already got the bitten condition, so it's not the end of the world there. Let's see if he does take an additional point of damage from his bite, though. So he does. So that puts him on 2 wounds by my reckoning. He's not feeling particularly great. And also, we're going to add +1 to the threats. We're on 14 now, so I think Negan might actually cave Dwight's head in for being scared because of his you scared rule, which I don't think is going to go great. But we'll see what's going to happen as we go into what will inevitably be the final turn. Okay, so it's definitely pee-pee pants time. We're going to go with Dwight and we're going to see what happens here. He is going to go berserk. He's crazy. He's really angry. So he'll have +1 to the threat, but he'll be adding a red dice to his melee. He's absolutely furious here. However, his furiosity won't help him because Negan has got a rule that means he's going to just slap Dwight for being scared. Puts him on 1 health, which is really not great for Dwight. So I think Dwight's going to initiate the end game sequence. So he's going to take 1 action just to walk to here. And then he's going to use his second action to get the car started. Now, we still have to play out the rest of the turn, so let's see what else we can do. So I realistically just need my survivors to end within 2 inches of the car and stay alive this turn. So let's go with Negan. Negan is simply going to sneak straight forward here. He is going to... Do you know what? We won't go with Negan first because he's outside of 6 inches of Tara. Let's go with Tara and see what Tara does. So she's going to roll a panic dice as well. She gets A question mark. That is the one where she's terrified. She can only perform one action this turn. There's no point in her trying to lower the threat. So she is simply just going to sneak around. Probably just stay where she is, actually. She's going to stay near the car. She's safe there. Then we'll go with Negan, so Negan doesn't slap Tara for no reason. Negan is simply going to walk towards 2 inches of the car, but he wants to stay outside of Sonny and Bean. So he's going to sneak to that position there. And as we said, he's just going to turn and face the camera and smile as he's probably going to bludgeon Dwight in the face. So we still need to play out the rest of the turn, though, despite the fact that Dwight has got it started, because now we've got to see if any of the walkers can grab people off as they're trying to run away. So we'll check for kill zones. There is nothing to worry about, which is convenient there. However, we will now need to pick an event card. So let's see what we get. We get Feeding Frenzy. So, Feeding Frenzy. Roll a black dice for each survivor engaged in melee. If there are no models in melee, there's add 1 to the threat level, so we're on 16 now. And then medium, as low threat. In addition, each player rolls blue and moves that many eligible walkers. So, 2. Who do we want to move? Who wants a piece? Genuinely, you've been looking at Tara for a while. You can get stuck into Tara. I don't want any of the walkers going into Sonny and Bean. I'm going to send this old man walker into Tara as well. I think Tara, I have faith in her with this extra red dice that she has got. By the way, Negan has got an extra red dice because he hit Dwight as well, so it's going to be entertaining. And then the high threat as medium threat. In addition, every walker gains a red in melee this turn. Oh, okay, maybe I made a mistake with Tara there. So we have got melee, so we're going to add +1 to the threat here. So Negan has got nothing to worry about. Dwight has got nothing to worry about as long as he doesn't die to his bite. So there is just Tara. Oh, Tara, come on then. So she has got a white dice on her melee. She has 2 red for her hunting knife and her sharp rule, her ability to clear the way. And she has a red from impressing Negan earlier. So let's see how she does. Ooh, 2 and 3 blanks, but remember she can re-roll them. So let's see how the walkers do. So let's work this out. The walkers traditionally, the first walker would bring 1 dice, but it gets another 1 because of Feeding Frenzy. And then the second walker would bring 2 dice, but it gains another 1 for Feeding Frenzy. So we would normally have 3 here, but we're on 5. Let's see what they get. Oh, that's quite tasty, isn't it? So we have got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a bite. So Tara's 2. So Tara is absolutely going to try and re-roll these 3, and she's going to need big money here. Ooh, okay. She is on 4, 5 only compared to the walkers 6. So Tara will lose the combat. These walkers will be pushed away an inch. And unfortunately, she is bitten. She took a hefty hit. I feel like Negan's going to be sharing a car ride with some very, very poorly people here. However, that will take us to the end phase of this turn now, and we will see how it all resolves. And here's our valiant crew at the end of the game. So let's total up some scoring. Now, luckily, Sonny and Bean, this is a practice run where actually they didn't get absolutely destroyed by event cards, which is quite nice. That helped us a lot. So at the end of the game, you total up your final scores as follows. So starting off, you look at your threat level. So we ended on 17. And then you add or minus depending on the following modifiers. So +1 for each turn taken in the game. We took 4, so that takes us up to 21. +1 for each survivor bitten. Sadly, that's 2 of them, so that will take us up to 23. +2 for each survivor slain. We got very lucky, neither of them died. +3 if either Sonny or Bean were slain. Again, luckily they did not die. -1 for each supply token gathered. We were able to get 3 of them there, so that'll be -3, which takes us to 20. And then -2 for each survivor within 2 inches of the escape cart at the end of the game. And luckily, all 3 of our survivors managed to do that. So that'll take us on -6 to 14. Now, this is where maybe if you had a crew of 4 survivors, you might be able to go for that benefit. But again, there's more chance of them being isolated or held up by walkers. So the pass score for this battle is going to be 14. So that is the challenge you guys need to absolutely hammer. But yeah, really nice, fun game. And you get a real sense of panic there as the threat goes up. So we'll round it off there and we'll go to the end. And there we go then, Sonny and Bean. Oh my god, that was a rush to the end there. Now that is very different to our first scenario, Caught in Herd, which is all kind of like sneaky, trying to keep the threat tracker going. This is supposed to feel like a mad rush to scramble for that petrol or that fuel that you need for the car. And it definitely felt that way. I don't know how Dwight survived. I'm not sure Negan smacking him in the head
when he's just giving the fuel was probably the best leadership skills in the world, but you know, we got away with it just as well. So there you go, I've set you a pass score. I want you guys at home to have a go now. Maybe you could try different factions, different groups. Let me know what lists work, what lists do not work. Maybe Sonny and Beam will survive like mine did. Maybe they will get absolutely smashed by a horrendous event card. I'm looking forward to hearing it below or on the Facebook post, or you can find us on any other social media challenges. If this is something that has been fun, please do let me know. I'll aim to do a few more in the future. And if it's something you really enjoy, maybe consider supporting us on Patreon or with our super sexy merch, which will keep you looking good in these cold winter months. But as always, massive thank you to watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching our content. It means the world to us. If you'd like to see some more videos, they should be over here. And if you'd like to support our channel, keep these lights on. You can find links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. See you later.